What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video. In this video, I wanted to go ahead and cover the fact that we have an announcement in-game on JP, of course, for Android 17 coming into the game. So we're going to talk about this, and we're going to talk about Android 21 and how this relates to her and all that stuff. So anyways, hope you all enjoy. Subscribe if you are new and all that other good stuff. So to begin, new Ultra Hard Fought event held prior notice. This notice expires on the 31st at 1 a.m. So in the next couple of days, we should be getting the data downloads. Honestly, it could come out as early as tonight, don't know, but we should have the data download alongside that, the leaks of the new characters that are coming out. Just on a side note, for today's question of the day, let me know in the comments who you guys think should come out alongside this character. I think that it would be a nice opportunity for them to introduce like Android 16 as an SSR that's summonable. That's not something that we have. Even though I know this is Dragon Ball Super Android 17, you know, it's not from that era of the Dragon Ball Z era, but it's still the same character, still had relations to 16 to some degree. And I would like to see that. I really want to see a summonable 16. And also because of the fact that more characters with different names, because like they could bring out another 18 from the Tournament of Power, and then all of a sudden we have two versions of 17 and 18 from the Tournament of Power, which means that the old ones would be invalidated because the exact same name. And to my point, I want more characters of different names because of the fact that it just adds more options to the overall Android team that we're going to obviously be getting at some point if he's not the leader for that, you know? So that's part of the reason as to why. And of course, they could really dip if they wanted to and go back to Dragon Ball way back then and pull androids like Ader and stuff like that, but I don't think that's going to happen. But anyways, that's kind of what I want to see happen, just again, so we have more viable options, because there's only so many different versions of 17 they can actually produce, for example. So when it comes to this, right, a lot of people are kind of like confused because we had an announcement for Android 21. And this is the V-Jump announcement. They say in the top left, you get it in the Dokkan Fest, and that's going to be something that is coming. And there are a few ways this could shake out, right? Because we've seen characters get introduced into the game via a couple of different methods. So finally in Dokkan, the mysterious female warrior Android 21 comes with a new category. It says right there, comes with a new category, right? You'll be fighting for me. I wonder how do you taste, yada yada. So the right is her, the pink one is her normal form, and then ultimately when conditions are met, she does absorb cell and turn into the grayish one. And she comes with healing abilities. You can pause if you want to read the translations for this. But this came out literally a few weeks ago, like less than a couple weeks ago, honestly, just like not that long ago. And it says a collaboration with Dragon Ball FighterZ begins. Category Android coming your way. So look, unless they pull the bait and switch, they are literally saying on this that she is going to be the Android category leader. She is going to be that. So also, it starts in August, so what I'm guessing is, by the way, she's going to come out like mid-August at this point. We were thinking she was going to come out in the beginning of August because also we haven't had a Dokkan Festival in about a month. If you haven't noticed, they've been really slowing down the pace of Dokkan Festivals and just trying to put out a lot of content at once and just lasting through like 3 or 4 weeks, which is what they've been doing for the last few months now, especially like since Legends came out. I don't know why, but they're popping out a lot of free units, which is cool, I guess. Maybe because they want to have more viable options. But long story short, we thought that they were going to bring out a new one towards the end of the month. And sure enough, there is a new announcement, and it's Android 17, right? So when it comes to her being a festival unit, right, there are a few ways this could shake out ultimately. I think that it's going to be like this. I think, and the same things I'm saying right now are going to apply to 17. Android 17 or Android 21, either of them could wind up being, well, they both could wind up being festival exclusive units, which I think is the least likely thing to happen. But I think that one of them, at least, is going to be festival exclusive, while the other one is going to be a unit like Mass Saiyan, like to a lesser extent Kefla. She wasn't, I don't think she wasn't introduced actually on a festival banner. She actually doesn't even have her own stage, so to a lesser extent her, but she is a category leader. In fact, a very good one, 150%. That isn't the general pool as well. She's in the general pool. So otherwise, another unit that this unit or Android 17 will be in relation to would be Tapion, another unit that was not introduced on a festival banner, right? And they haven't announced 17 coming out on a Dokkan Festival banner in particular. They said he's getting a new hard fought event, which means he's getting a Dokkan event, right? That doesn't mean that he's going to be Dokkan Festival exclusive. That doesn't mean he's going to have a Dokkan event banner. He could be on a Rebirth banner or something like that, or not a Rebirth banner because he wouldn't have Rebirth. You get my point. But he could be on a banner like Tapion was introduced on, for example, and that would effectively put him in our general pool. Now, the more curious thing about it is, what are they going to do? Because, again, she's listed as the Android leader. One of the things that I would love to see the Dokkan game get into is something that Dragon Ball Super as a card game has got into recently. And if you guys don't know, I'm a huge fan of that card game. Have been for a long time. I play it weekly. And it's cool to see a lot of my friends are actually starting to get into it too here on YouTube. But, so what they've done is they've produced archetypes for the different universes. Universe 7, Universe 11, these different things from the Tournament of Power stuff. And we're getting an Android 17 from that. Now, I don't think that he could be that type of leader. I don't think that he's popular enough or, warrants being the leader. But there are some people that would say he was the MVP of the tournament, and I wouldn't be inclined to disagree. So it would be very fitting, in my opinion, if he was like a leader like that, Universe 7. But I don't know what they're going to do with him. So there's a huge blank. But I do know that most likely one of these units is going to be added to the general pool. Now, if you're looking for, again, a direct relation of a unit, for a different example of times they've done this, like I said, Mass Saiyan is a really good example. A unit that's in literally every general pool that's in the game, pretty much, and has his own event and stage, which was actually kind of hard at the time being. Could still be hard for some people. But more so, again, most recently, Tapion, who is a category leader, that gets Fierce Battle. So that checks that box off in relation to Kefla, who, again, is a category leader, 150, but gets Rebirth. Because she got the shaft. But also, isn't Dokkan Festival exclusive Tapion? He also transforms and is the category leader for the transform team. So, like, there are so many different things that are in there. Now, his transformation mechanic is a little bit different because it's more of like the Great Ape transformation mechanic, which, while a transformation mechanic is not the same, it's the same. It's the same in essence, but it's not the same type of mechanic because these other ones are a little bit different. They impact the unit a little bit differently when it comes to these transformations that LR Vegito and Gogeta or Ultra Instinct or Super Saiyan Blue Evolution Vegeta and probably Android 21 here will have. So that's probably what I think will happen. And I think that 17 is the more likely one to have that happen. So another thing that could potentially happen to 21, because this is not the first time we've had a game crossover like this, and every other time we've had a game crossover that came with a banner, because we had previous crossover like with One Piece Treasure Cruise that did not feature a banner, I don't think. I'm pretty sure it didn't. But anytime we get a game crossover that features a banner, the units are not put in the general pool. They're time limited. So I don't think this will happen, but they are listing this as a crossover, a special collaboration event with Dragon Ball FighterZ. So this is something to be aware of as a possibility. It's fully possible that Android 17 comes out and has like maybe the same leader skill or a different leader skill. It doesn't really matter what it is. But this unit here, 21, is time limited and does not remain in the game. I don't know if that'll be the case. I don't think it's going to happen, but it is a possibility because, again, Heroes content, the Fusions content, those types of things do not stay in the game naturally. But again, we haven't had a unit that has come in and wanted to be a festival unit, and, so I don't think it's going to happen with her because that's really weird, and I feel like that would be a dumb decision. So that's basically how it breaks down. So last little bit of it, like I said, is if we want to kind of go over 17, and this is why I was talking about 16 in the beginning, because, look, we're going to get another Android 17. We already have a Ranger 17, so he's obviously going to be Android 17. And, of course, he's from Dragon Ball Super, so he's not going to be anything else. So good news is he's farmable, right? So that'd be pretty cool. They need to bring this event back because I don't think it's live right now. If it is, then forgive me. And we have Android 17 from the future timeline, Trunks' timeline, which is there, I guess. There's one or two technically, but really one viable one. And then there's these guys down here, Hellfighter and Super 17. So right here we have a lot of different options for 17 just in general. But when we get out of this, we go over to the more general Android list. We need more updated units like Super 13 here or Fusion 13. We need more of those. We need maybe 14 and 15. We need a summonable 16. We have 17s and 18s. There's a 13 here from the Baba Shop. He's meh. He's a good tanker, but otherwise meh. And then these units don't really count. The SRs and below, like, they don't really count. And, of course, we have Mira in here, and then we'll have access to Cell probably, too. And we might even get a Cell LR. I think that a lot of people are expecting that to happen, basically, at this point. So that's probably where we're going to be at with this category. And I just kind of feel like it's going to wind up being a team like the Shadow Dragon one, where it doesn't have a lot of options if we don't get more summonable units that could slide into those slots easily, right? Like an Android 16. But I think that they will because, like I was saying, they've been really good about putting out multiple types of units, multiple types of content at once, and just kind of letting that fester there. Because right now, we just got like, 4 new units on this Goku banner. So they've been good about doing that. So I think there will obviously be more summonable SSRs on the banner that are not festival exclusive, that are new units though. So we can expect that. But when it comes to 17 versus 21, again, just to recap, think that It's possible they both wind up being festival exclusive, but I think it's more likely that one of them isn't and one of them is just added into the general pool. It depends on what 17's leader skill is, though, to be honest. And also depends on if she's going to be time limited, which I don't think she will be, but it's possible again. It just really depends on what his leader skill is, because if it's the same version of her leader skill, just a weaker one or whatever, then yeah, he's probably going to get added to the general pool, which I wouldn't mind. But again, while they're saying it's basically a Dokkan event, they're not saying he's coming out on a Dokkan banner, but to play devil's advocate, they really always say this exact same thing, this exact same verbiage for every single event that is pulled up. Like, I went back and backtracked, and they said the exact same thing for Future Gohan, for Goku, for all the Dokkan festivals. So it's probably going to be a Dokkan Fest banner, but still. There could be a bait and switch, because we didn't expect this. We thought that the next thing was going to be 21 indefinitely, but it's looking like 17 is first and then 21 is later. That's what that's looking like. She could come immediately at the same time as him, but it's looking like he's first, because I don't know why. If it was a dual Dokkan festival, by the way, I should have said this earlier. If you see any questions, feel free to time stamp this part of the video and let them know I mentioned it. But if it's a dual Dokkan festival, unless it gets announced today, it should have been in the news. Like, it really should have been in there right now. And they didn't announce it. It should have been right alongside, because typically they do announce them both at the same time, and it's not there. So that's about it. Anyways, hope you all enjoy. Subscribe if you're new for more content. Have an awesome day, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.